Hi everyone. Wishing all of you a very happy 75th Independence Day. Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav indeed. I personally believe that we are poised for the next 15 years of growth. The opportunities for all of us, entrepreneurs, people who are looking for jobs or working for someone else, are indeed immense. The next 15 years are going to be good. Now, coming back to the topic at hand, the kind of businesses which I believe are infinitely scalable. Is there a magic formula to identify that? Yes, there is. It's called the working capital gap. Now, of course, this assumes that there are no constraints in terms of capital expenditure, fixed equipments. There is no constraint in terms of getting the supply chain correct. But the only constraint you have is, well, if you can sell the product you have and services you have. A negative working capital essentially means that all your stocks and debtors are financed by your creditors. You get credit for 60 days, you convert it into finished goods and sell it ahead within 30 days and realize the money within maybe in 45 days or so. So, what kind of businesses come to mind when we talk about negative working capital? Of course, restaurants. We all go out to eat. We pay on the spot, and the restaurant normally settles the bill in a week. A lot of FMCG companies in India, of course, are negative working capital businesses, wherein they get credit from their suppliers, and their supply chain is so well oiled that from getting the stuff from their suppliers to realizing the money from their distributors, it's only 3 4 days. And their supplier payment terms are 30 and 40 days. A negative working capital most of the times denotes efficiencies. But yes, it also can denote terminal weakness. It can denote that your business is not making enough money to pay your creditors on time. So, how do we, the business owner, identify whether my company is working using its working capital very, very efficiently? Or is it indeed a sick company? For that, we use a statistical tool called Altman Z score. Now, what does that mean? You want to know more? Just Google it. Come on, you guys can do it. But for the sake of brevity, it essentially denotes the strength of a company or the weaknesses of a company. A score of close to zero means that the company is very close to bankruptcy and may not sustain its business for long. A score of three or more means that the company has got probably a very healthy set of financials and is doing very, very well in terms of capital efficiency. So that's a lot of theory going on about working capital being negative and about Altman Z score, which will tell you whether you are using the working capital efficiently or you are indeed a sick business. But what does it mean for you as a business? Can you have a business which is working capital, which is a negative working capital? Is it possible in every sector? Is it even possible for your business model? You might be an automotive component supplier and you might think my principal wants me to give a 60-day credit and I have a 30-day production period. So, how in the world can I have a negative working capital? I also used to think so. And you know what? It's possible. A negative working capital in every set of business, every kind of size of the company, and every single sector is possible. Don't believe me? Let's look at some data. So, the first question, Are negative working capital businesses restricted to a few sectors, or are they found across sectors and across industries? So we did a simple thing. We screened out a list of companies with negative working capital and an Altman Z score of more than 3. And what we found is the negative working capital businesses were spread across all these sectors, whether it's agricultural products, allied agro, automotive, bath and
Sanitary ware,
industrial, cement, chemicals, consumer durables, edible oil, electrical, pharma, FMCG, manufacturing, hospitality, IT, logistics, you name it, it's there. So, is it really the case where it's across a few industries? No, I don't think so. It's more or less spread across. And yes, your business can also be a negative working capital business. The second question, is it spread across a few market caps wherein a few large companies will have negative working capital at the cost of their suppliers, which generally are smaller companies? No, not really. Let's again have a look at this. This spread has companies with market cap as low as 68 lakhs, going up all the way to a couple of thousand crores. In fact, the largest ones are the oil and gas giants with more than 3 lakh crore as their market capitalization. So, as we can see, the companies are small, large, and everything in between. The third question, is it possible for you to go from a business you are doing today to a negative working capital business? Essentially, can you change your business model? The answer to that again is also yes. If you just look at this part of the sheet, okay, this tells me the companies, the green part essentially is when they have negative working capital. The white portion is when they actually had a working capital gap available. If you see most of the companies, look at Pranav spinning mills here, right? They had working capital before and now they are working on negative working capital basis with an Altman Z score of more than 3. Which sector? Textiles. Let's look at another example. Let's look at Sonal Adhesive, which is in chemicals. They also moved from a very working capital intensive company to a negative working capital company. Let's look at one more example, Albert David, which is into pharma. Again, heavy working capital to a negative working capital business. You want to look at something in media? Same story. So, is it possible for you to really change your business model? Yes, it is. So, in conclusion, what I would want you as a businessman to do is to take a hard look at the way you finance your working capital. Is it through banks? Is it through your vendors? What kind of a cycle do you have? If nothing else, try and reduce your working capital cycle to the lowest possible number. The best will be a negative number. If you indeed manage to achieve a business with negative working capital, that will essentially give you the best chance to grow your business, because then all you need to do is to focus on sales and to ensure your capital expenditure financing is taken care of. With that, wishing you again a very happy 75th Independence Day. See you in the next video. If you like the channel, do subscribe and do share the video. Thank you so much.